the NDC tax, who stormed the collation center and sought to destroy critical electoral materials, including pink sheets essential for verifying the results. They took control of the collation process and threatened the EC's officials to declare their candidate as winner, resulting in chaotic scenes which led to suspension of the constituency collation. The parties were invited to the EC Regional Collation Center on Monday, 9 December 2024 to complete the collation process. The NDC insisted that they would not accept the continuation of the collation and demanded that the EC should declare their candidate as winner of the parliamentary election. Under visible duress, the returning officer excluded the results from 31 polling stations and declared the results based on only 110 polling stations. This action is inconsistent with the electoral laws as it excludes legitimate votes cast by constituents and fails to reflect the true outcome of the elections in Okaikwe Central. The NDC's disagreement was based on alleged issue with certain polling stations. The attack stormed the electoral EC collation center and coerced the returning officer to declare. And here too we have video footages to corroborate these incidents of vandalism and physical abuse of the electoral staff. I don't think you can show the footage.
This one is applicable. We will share with them. We share the video. Let's go to the video.
All right, so let's go to the fourth one, Domi Kwabenya constituency. We will share these videos with you. During the collation at Domi Kwabenya constituency collation center, the NDC hoodlums attacked the collation center, destroyed electoral materials on site, bent ballot boxes, thereby truncating the collation process. The returning officer informed parties to leave the collation center on account of the security challenges, which made it impossible to continue with the collation. The returning officer assured the candidates and their agents that she would communicate a new venue for the continuation of the collation. We are, however, hearing that there was a purported declaration of results under duress, and that too in our absence, contrary to requirements of Regulation 43 of CI 127. Equally, the Parliamentary Results Collation Sheet Form 1C and Parliamentary Results Summary Sheet Form 1D was not filled as required by Regulation 43 1B 1 and B of CI 127, and the rate of declaration Form 1B was also not issued as required by Regulation 43 1 and G. The MPP candidate or his agent has still not been informed of the new venue for the continuation of the collation, contrary to the assurances given by the returning officer during the raid by the NDC tax. Well, we can report that based on our own collation, the MPP parliamentary candidate, Ambassador Michael Kwe Jr., won the parliamentary elections in Domi Kwabenya, and are confident that when EC resumes collation, our position will be vindicated. 5. Ahafano North constituency in Ashanti region. The MPP parliamentary candidate, Honorable Eric Nana Ajimai Prempe, won the parliamentary elections with a margin of 121 votes as per data collated from all the 140 polling stations by the party. The MPP's candidate, Nana Ajimai Prempe, has hard copies of all the 140 pink sheets that put him at 20,353 votes as against NDC's candidate at 20,232. I believe we all have witnessed what we call MP3 in Tema East some time back. So if somebody wins with a difference of 121, he has won. After all, the law says first past the post. During the collation by the EC at the Constituency Collation Center, NDC tax stormed the collation center at Tepa SHS and began destroying and burning electoral materials, particularly pink sheets, computers, and ballot papers, as well as properties of the Tepa SHS, including louver blades, benches, and tables. They also manhandled MPP representatives and EC officials. These violent conducts by the NDC tax, who had overpowered the police, prompted the intervention of the military to save lives and property. The NDC hoodlums did not only attack the collation center, but they also proceeded to launch an attack at the residence of the MPP parliamentary candidate, Honorable Eric Nana Agyeman Prempeh, bent his vehicle and attacked his warehouse, stole his items, and attacked his radio station. There are video footages in wide circulations that captured all these attacks. These issues have since been reported to the Ghana police, and an arrest warrant has been issued. The videos are there, and we will give you copies of it. The question many will ask is, since when has it become an offense to contest a parliamentary elections in this country? Why is the NDC bent on thwarting all our democratic gains? Ghana has made a lot of gains. Instead of consolidating it, they are thwarting it. They are throwing it away. Let's go to the sixth one, Obuasi East. That's also in Ashanti. After collecting the polling stations results from all the 115 polling stations, the MPP parliamentary candidate obtained 18,558 votes as against NDC's 18,539. Strangely, the returning officer, the police, and the MPP candidate, at the threat of their lives, succumbed to the unlawful demands of the NDC hoodlums, who had besieged the collation center and took charge of the constituency collation process to swap the election results. And we have that. Is that ready to show them? They swapped the results that I have mentioned and then announced that, okay, they gave them APP's candidates to that of the NDC, the Obuasi East, and they just canceled. They canceled the first one, which we have the data and reverse and I mean, what is this? They swapped the results in favor of the NDC candidate.
And locked the candidate and asked him to sign or die. Or he prefers dying or going to parliament. So he should sign.
Number 7, Ahafo Southwest, also in Ashanti. Results from all the 103 polling stations indicate that the MPP's candidate, Elvis Osei Mensah Dapa, obtained 16,058 votes, as against NDC's candidate, who polled 15,372 votes. As usual, the NDC hoodlums attacked the collation center and in the process killed one of our supporters. We have all our pink sheets intact, and that shows clearly that the MPP parliamentary candidate won the parliamentary elections by 686 votes margin. 686 votes margin. The EC invited the parties to its regional collation center on Monday, 9 December 2024 at 10 a.m. The EC collected all the results from all the 103 polling stations, filled the Form 1C as well as the Form 1D, but due to threat on his life, he opted not to declare the final results. So this is the situation at Ahafo Southwest. Now we go to Bono East, number 8, Techima South constituency. Collation from 279 out of a total of 282 polling stations indicate clearly that Honorable Martin Kwaku Agyei Mensah Kosa, the MPP parliamentary candidate, obtained 46,468 votes as against NDC's Christopher Bayari, who polled for the 3,365 votes. 2 other candidates in the parliamentary elections obtained 225 votes. The constituency collation was disrupted by NDC elements and has since not resumed. All right. The next one is Eastern Region and Sawam Adwajiri. Data from all the 202 polling stations show that the incumbent MP, Honorable Anodompre, has won the parliamentary elections. The EC's collation at the Constituency Collation Center was disrupted by the NDC. The EC's arrangement to continue with the collation at the regional level in Koforidua was also disrupted by the hoodlums, compelling the EC to relocate the collation to the police training school at Tesano based on security considerations. Leader will want to add something because he was present.
Friends from the media, I want to explain something that happened at Tesano. Honorable Obiamwa and my good self were there as representatives from the party's headquarters. On that day, that was a Thursday, last week Thursday, we had 4 constituencies: Fantiakwa North, Akotia, Suhum, and Nsawam Adwejiri. The first collation to be completed for the day was Fantiakwa North. When we got that done, we came to Akotia, which we also successfully completed, and it was declared. Then it was left with Nsawam Adwejiri and Suhum. Both were being done. Now, for Suhum, there was another go slow. The NDC at every stage tried to disrupt. Eventually, they rejected 6 polling station results, and we accepted that if they've rejected, they don't want it to be part, that is fine, because it was still giving us a win of over 1,500. Then they tried to use an independent candidate agent to frustrate the process. In fact, eventually, the NDC leaders who came there, led by the famous Alfred Woyome, told me and Honorable Obiamwa that they want to negotiate for us to allow the declaration of Suhum, and that their foot soldiers were amassing outside, and that if all 4 constituencies are declared for us, they will kill them. Very sad. Eventually, when we said no, we have to continue with the process, and we completed the Suhum process where Suhum was declared, they tried another go slow on Nsawam Adwejiri. Each one of them that came said, "Oh, you say, I'm not on praying winning. I am farmer." Where does this happen? Eventually, when the EC official decided to continue the process, the NDC, led by Alfred Woyome, came into the collation center and said that, okay, their computer was not working, so we should give them 2 hours to charge their battery. As at 1 a.m., when they had gotten 3 hours to charge the so-called battery of the laptop, they said they were tired. Meanwhile, their candidate walked in. The candidate for Nsawam Adwejiri walked in. And we said, okay, if you are tired, the candidate himself was there. Meanwhile, Honorable Anodompre had been there the whole day. What next? The EC official, after another 1 hour of unnecessary disruption, he said he was tired, he was feeling sleepy, and that we should do it at 6 a.m. the following day, Friday. We all slept there. Well, by the way, I left around 4 a.m. to shower, and I came back around 7 o'clock. Around this time, the General Secretary was also there, but the candidate, Honorable Anodompre, and his agent slept there. At 6:30 thereabout, collation resumed. Around 8 o'clock, they started the agenda again. Will not allow. Then around 8:30, their counsel came in, Honorable Mr. Eduji Tamaklu, claiming that he had in his possession an injunction order from the court, only to find out later that they use a delay tactics to file an application. They had filed a writ in court, that is the candidate for NDC had filed a writ in court with an injunction application, which they were seeking to serve the Honorable Anodombre and EC. So clearly, these are not Democrats. Whereas Dr. Bawumia conceded defeat even before EC's official announcement. They were not ready to accept defeat in these constituencies that day. They were not ready to concede defeat where they knew clearly, because their posture was that they won't allow the process to continue. And then in fact on Friday itself, after they had successfully gotten the Anodom Press constituency coalition disrupted, then they came to the others. The police had arranged collation tables for the other constituencies. In fact, Techiman South has started. They were collating. Ahafano Southwest, we had their table. We had Obuasi East, and all the Ashanti region seats were supposed to be collated. And then the following day, Saturday, was for Greater Accra. They deliberately disrupted and then used social media to threaten the police, whereupon the police felt that they could not provide security in spite of EC's insistence to continue the work. In fact, on Friday afternoon, it was the police that actually instructed the EC to stop the collation process. I repeat, on Friday afternoon, it was the police that instructed EC to stop the process of collating the result because it was not sure of its ability to provide security. And you recall that that was when the deputy communication officer, I don't want to mispronounce his name, had issued threat, had commanded 5,000 people to meet at the police training school. It's all on social media. So our appeal to the international community, civil society organizations, the media, and all lovers of democracy is to show interest in these outstanding constituencies and give the EC every moral support to proceed to make these declarations. Again, we are encouraging the Electoral Commission that pursuant to their own statement they issued and their press conference on the evening of Friday to proceed to collect and declare these results. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I continue from here. Our win constituency in Western North region. Records from 181 polling stations indicate that the vote difference between our candidates, Abanga Yakubu, and the NDC candidate is 103 votes in favor of the NDC candidate. However, we have learned of some major infractions at some polling stations which the party is still investigating. Other outstanding constituencies. Collation processes in Suhum, Fantiakwa North, and Akwatia constituencies were botched because of some security challenges occasioned by the NDC supporters and hoodlums besieging the respective constituency collation centers. The EC's arrangement to continue with the collation at the regional level was also disrupted by the hoodlums, compelling the EC to relocate the collation to the police training school at Tesano based on security considerations, just as Leah has just mentioned. Subsequently, these collations have since been completed under a serene environment and the results declared. True to our case, all the results were declared in favor of the MPP parliamentary candidates. The point must be made that this is not the first time in the history of this country's election that we have been confronted with an issue where there has been a continuation of a disrupted constituency collation or recollation. I think this point is very important, ladies and gentlemen. It will be recalled that in the year 2004, the parliamentary results in Poo constituency was initially declared for the MPP candidate, King David Amoa. However, upon recollation of the results, Based on the pink sheet provided by the NDC candidate and his agents, the EC, under the then chairman, Dr. Kojo Afarijan, reversed the results and declared the NDC candidate as the winner. So it has happened before in the electoral history of this country. The point must also be made that the position of the law is that once a proper and regular declaration has been done by the EC, the only remedy available to an aggrieved party, apart from resorting to alternative disputes resolution, ADR, pursuant to Courts Act and ADR Act, is to go to the High Court for redress under Article 99(1) of the 1992 Constitution. However, with the seats that the MPP is contesting, no declaration, properly so-called, was done. So the declaration has not been done. Why do who can ask us to go to court? No, it's for the EC to recollect as it did in the year 2004 under Dr. Afarijan at Puru constituency in the now Bono East region.
But EC says that there hasn't been any.
But the EC itself has issued a statement, a press conference, that there's no declaration. How does the NDC expect the EC to gazette election results that have not been fully collated and declared? It is pretty obvious that the NDC leadership and their supporters, who stormed the collation centers to compel the EC under the threat of death to declare their candidates as winners, have labored in vain, because we are a country of rule of law, not rule of men. EC's response: it is not surprising that at a press conference held on Friday, 13 December, the Electoral Commission, through its deputy chair, Mr. Samuel Tete, stated emphatically that there was no declaration of the Ablekuma North, Domekwa Benya, Tema Central, Okaikwe North, Ahafuano North, Ahafuano Southwest, Obuasi East, Techiman South, and Enswam Adwajiri constituency parliamentary results, because the collation was incomplete. Indeed, the Commission has maintained that all purported declaration of parliamentary results made under duress, as was seen in those constituencies, are not in conformity with laid down processes enshrined in CI 127, hence illegal and will not be upheld. It will not be upheld by the EC. Conclusion: it is therefore our expectation that the EC would immediately resume the collation exercise. We implore the National Election Security Task Force to provide adequate security to facilitate peaceful collation under a serene environment. We are also calling on the NDC leadership to rein in on their supporters. We are very certain that our parliamentary candidates in the above mentioned constituencies won the elections based on verifiable data from the pink sheets, as we have demonstrated. We urge the EC and all stakeholders to, in the interest of democracy and peace of our dear country, take immediate steps to give effect to the will of the voters in these constituencies as expressed in the December polls. I thank you all. Where is the MC?
All right, so you may proceed with questions.
Yeah, Ira, Chairman Magmenu, a Kayan Ninano, Obon Tofa, a baby, we say, yea, I award the new patriotic party, and there at the 20 and then more and central for no Asia, the 10 and in the titi, and they say, your constituencies be a MPP based on Yayo coalition and Yaye near Dimkunim Ewoho. And after so, pin sheeter, Yakotua by electoral commission, Edema political parties no, Yakikani Yabom no, near Dimkunim. Offer constituencies Nina, maybe at the say Ablekuma North. Osha Vosa, MPP nya, our Ablekuma North. aye 34,613 na NDC candidates esu nya 34,199 HSA ye candidate friend honorable Nana Equia Ousefie no edinkunim 414 votes. So we Ablekuma North everywhere. Over Tema Central so o share your results are near quality based on Pinsita electoral commission na de maye ya. O who said your candidate a year forcing enya 18,870 and our NDC candidate no enya 18,115. Ufri Ablekuma North now by Okaikwe Central and also so yera Patribuama our yemra sebedwani wo ho ono so o collecting the results in area obo who said MPP candidate no nya 20,229 NDC candidate nya 18,783 to show vote difference na wo na 1,446 vote difference na ka 3 polling stations and say kan NDC for no ampering just all kinds of 3 polling station votes no crabuma still your candidate and edin kunim ewo ho oba bebe to say domain kwabenya also so NDC for no 2 trasem ne basabasa ko ho no omantima amboa ma collation na ese koso odomain kwabenya eno so ankoso ewo ho oba bebe to say for north constituency o kan ye Pinsita de o nya aboma ye candidate eye Nanajima Eric Nanajima Prempe enya 20,353 as against NDC candidate we now 20,232 to shema vote difference no 121 vote difference oba be to say Obuas East MPP na edin kunim ho vote MPP candidate na ye 18,558 as against NDC candidate we now 18,539 and no electoral commission we be no quality results na we na so NDC for macho man for war to trasem ho e share electoral commission your candidate say results MPP enya no ye fa MPP dey NDC ne fa NDC dey MPP mo dey sekani to esi so say obewu na so beko parliament dey na ope and mo tintin your candidate nsa o ye no free afa north south west and so your candidate ho o share votes a wonya ye na 16,058 and NDC candidate na 16,000 your candidate na 16,058 and NDC candidate na 15,372 and o share vote margin the BTN this na 686 votes and so NDC for 2 trasams ano o ma electoral commission entime and collect results na wie over Techiman South so honorable Martin Kokweje Mensa Kosa no odin kunim o sa constituency wo votes are near quality unya 46,468 as against NDC candidate unya 43,365 votes and so said the NDC 4 year to try some Okaikwe Central afano southwest and afano south afano north no sa no me de call ha Techiman South intimin kan wi in sawa adroje so the same issue and the course so e wo ho and the crowd there said the area afenyo marking my church leader kan no e ko share what tesa no na ka yes electoral commission eto aso metimi kan wi NDC the patapasem to trasem sa massa exercise no ameyan kwanko wi now about our win constituency also so electoral commission start to kenka results no ya sha what mean say figures be what high polling station be ha o ma than figures no and then so ya call no electoral commission say o honor results no so ese moment you call as a party so e go so aye hwehwem now for constituency be to say suhum fantia pa north any akwatia enam say na bambo any sa constituency wo no a side call region bamba ho no ye de call tesa no police training school ho no asundwe wo ho ntietimi quality ni nyina ye wie no ampa se de MPP ye kan ye di nkunim e osuhum akwatia na fantia pa north You say baby a babedru no. Yes say electoral commission say aka standing constituencies a yen kan wie a es wo hwe emeka. Yes say area IGP area dampare o hye yebo say abato ebetu na ma asundua abam na normal ekoso no nyesa na yehu no say NDC timi de 2 million monsem na police gina ho police ntimi nya hwe na omo ye tutu asem ho ti yes ne say bambo bi eso de ma electoral commission say be ya electoral commission ebetima ye omo adwuma wie no say bambo de fa ma electoral commission no nya say adwuma obeti say NDC fo kan no fa me say say MPP yes ye wini en court ye nya du ba bi yes ye court e say electoral commission on quality results in we en gazette ye enu nti beka so be nya say court ye nya we collation de e say ye collation we na ogidie say electoral commission ye collation we a MPP e be din kunim all sa constituencies ni enti na frame ene no ye da mu nyina amase.
Okay, thank you very much for coming.
We have questions or
After you in this manner.